Gotta come at y'all correct. Can't come at y'all with an unmoisturized face. Sorry, I need to take a breather real quick just because I was outside running with the dog and always lotion up before the stream. It's good to see you, fandom. Descent! We got lots to talk about today. In today's Let's Discuss, we're going to be discussing the Shichibukai, the 7 warlords of the sea. Now, we're going to go through its history, we're going to go through its members, and we're going to go through the events that have led to, well, we'll explain near the end. For those of you who don't follow the manga and rather follow the anime, you might hear some spoilers. But for those of us who have been following the manga since the beginning, well, we kind of know what to expect from this. So, let me go ahead and pull up the other window so I can read you guys the history of the warlords. So, it is said that the 3 great powers comprised of the, and I'm looking at the wrong page, I had another one up. I am so wrong for that. The Shichibukai, the full title being Oka Shichibukai. Oka Shichibukai, literally meaning Royal 7 Warriors of the Sea, were a group consisting of 7 powerful and notorious pirates who had allied themselves with the world government. As a group, they were one of the 3 great powers that kept the world in balance. However, after the most recent reverie, the world government's member nations voted to disband the organization, resulting in the 5 remaining members at the time becoming normal pirates and enemies to the world government once again. So, if it isn't already obvious, we're going to be talking about how the warlords themselves, how they became as notorious as they were, how they became under the employ of the world government, and how it came to the absolution, abolishment, the abolition, not absolution, the abolition of the entire warlord system. No more warlords whatsoever. So the 3 great powers are no longer 3 great. It's only 2 great. Because the 3 great powers themselves only consisted of the Marines, the warlords, and the Yonko. The only powers that remain is the world government and Marines and the Yonko. And they were saying how the 5 elders at the time, back when Crocodile was part of it, that if he lost, then it would be a significant hit to the warlords and it would greatly affect the balance of power of the 3 great powers. And that if one was to tip in one favor, then the whole world would go into chaos. Well, we're currently dealing with a situation where the entire warlord system is no longer relevant. So the 3 great powers are missing 1 great power in and of itself. And we've been hearing things about how Vegapunk has been working on something that would make the warlords obsolete. Is the world government in a place with whatever Vegapunk has made so that they can get rid of the warlords altogether and just rely on whatever Vegapunk has already done? I mean, that's the only reason I would feel that the Marines are completely okay with this. That's the only way I would feel that the 5 elders themselves would be okay with this and have no problems with it, is whatever Vegapunk's been cooking up is already prepared to take the place of the 7 warlords themselves. But I digress. We'll get into that after I read through the whole overview of the warlords. And this isn't going to be a particularly long stream. I'm going to talk about its history and its members, and then I'll offer my own take on things, and then that'll be the end of it. I'm not going to go too long. I won't bug your ears off, and I won't take up too much of your guys' time. So, the Shichibukai is an alliance of 7 pirates turned privateers in the service of the world government. Although they work for the world government, the Shichibukai themselves typically do not care about nor respect the government, excluding Bartholomew Kuma, who was later modified into their puppet, or even other Shichibukai, and are often considered by the Marines to be no different from any other pirate. Hence, Smoker, Fujitora, and Kizaru, they all... And, well, pretty much all the admirals, actually. they don't like the warlords. They see them as just dogs. They don't see them as necessary. And I'm pretty sure, like you said, Smoker is happy that this finally happened. Pretty much everyone who wanted the entire warlord system to be, moot and void and no longer necessary, they're just grinning ear to ear right now. And some of them are grinning into ear because I bet some of them have been really wanting to take some of these pirates into custody and arrest them and put them into Impel Down for such a long time. But they were under the employ of the world government that they just had to grin and bear it all of these years. Well, now with the warlords out of the picture, they're free reign for every single admiral, real admiral, vice admiral. Every person affiliated with the Marines is now going after everyone. Like Kobe's going after Hancock. And what's his face is going after Buggy, and then other people are going after Mihawk, and other people are going after Weevil. And I'm just thinking all these people are going to die because one is as powerful as a young Whitebeard. The other has an entire tribe, an entire island filled with battle-hardened warrior women who can all use armament hockey. And the other one is basically he's not as powerful as the other ones, but his influence is enough where he has people from level 6 of Impel Down following him. So he has an entire crew filled with nothing but extremely powerful pirates who are following him due to just how ridiculously lucky he is. And last but not least, we have the world's greatest swordsman who, among this group of warlords, has never suffered a single injury in the entirety of the entire series, nor has he ever lost a fight. He has reached a stalemate due to certain circumstances, such as him and Vista going up against one another in certain instances. But we have pretty much all of these ridiculously powerful people, and the Marines think they're just going to go after them and take them in. It's like the Marines have forgotten why they put them in their employ in the first place, because the warlords themselves are equivalent to a nuclear deterrent. The reason why they took them in was, well, we'll get into that. Also, CJ, what's going on? If they didn't come with that Vegapunk weapon, the Marines weren't thinking. No, they weren't. And another one of my commenters was who reacted to the reaction of that chapter. He was saying that Mihawk is not going to go all out because, as Mihawk once said, you wouldn't kill a rabbit with a cannon, would you? So anything short of whatever Vegapunk has or an admiral is not going to take any of them in. Period. That's it. But let me get back to what I was saying. On the other hand, they are known as government dogs and are despised by other pirates, but are still feared and respected for their infamous reputation and strength which they gained before, and even after they became Shichibukai. The Shichibukai seem to be a mixture of the more chaotic Yonko and the more orderly Marines. The majority of the I'm just going to say warlords from now on, so that way it just doesn't sound too odd for me to say Shichibukai all the time. The majority of the warlords are composed of New World veterans, those who have met the Yonko or even fought against them. There is an enormous range in the bounties between the members due to differences in circumstances under which they were recruited, with Edward Weevil, who had a bounty of 480 million, and Blackbeard, who had no bounty at all. So it's not the how high your bounty is that factors into you becoming a warlord. It's also comes to your feats, as your feats and actions that you do out in the world that can draw the attention of the world government as well. It should be noted that these are their former bounties and do not represent the current threat they could achieve as active pirates. Jinbei's bounty, for example, jumped from 250 million to 438 million after his resignation, because he resigned because he didn't want to fight against Whitebeard, who liberated his entire country and, made it so that no other pirates could come to Fishman Island and, ransack the place, steal their mermaids, and sell them off for slaves and anything like that. Jinbei refused to fight against Whitebeard during the Marineford War, and that landed him in Impel Down alongside Ace. Another example is Crocodile, who, with a bounty of 81 million, was imprisoned in level 6 of Impel Down, while Luffy, with a bounty of 300 million at the time, was only put at level 5. So your threat level is what determines the punishment given to you, and how you are treated. And like it says, their bounties don't really signify just how much of a threat they are. Their bounties only signify just how much of a threat they are at the time the bounty was posted. That threat can increase as time goes on. The terms that the warlords are on with each other is best described as very unstable. They have very little, if any, respect for each other and will, for the most part, not accept help from one another, apparently due to a firm sense of pride. Prime example, Moria refused help from Kuma when Kuma came to him in Thriller Bark, with him suggesting that, do you want my help taking out these Straw Hat pirates? And Moria, being the prideful individual that he is, says, no, I don't want your help. Go someplace else. During the meeting of the warlords, where only 2 members are absent, Hancock and Jinbei, it was stated that the very notion of them working together as a team is entirely unthinkable. However, Kuma and Doflamingo do not disregard the notion of allying with another warlord. Kuma offered Moria assistance in defeating the Straw Hats, and Doflamingo offered Crocodile an opportunity for a partnership. This came up during the Marineford War, after which Crocodile told Doflamingo to shove it, and Doflamingo tried to slice off his head, but since Crocodile has the Sunasuna no Mi, he pretty much lived through it. Both offers were refused due to pride. During Boa Hancock's visit at Impel Downs Level 6, Jinbei stated that he did not know much about her, possibly suggesting that only some of the warlords are familiar with each other or even have personally met all the other members. Despite this, all of the warlords, including former, introduced prior to the time skip, fought at the war between the Whitebeard Pirates and the Marines. The remaining warlords are going to be giving out free fades to the Marines, especially without an Admiral's secret super weapon. Yo, the Marines have been so lax. They think that here's the thing. Everything has been going downhill for the Marines ever since Akainu became Fleet Admiral. Ever since he got promoted, there's been so much disrespect towards the Marines, so much disgraces. Like, before Akainu came in there, no one would dare do anything against the world government. And after the events of Luffy and his crew, and then going into the time skip, and then Fujitora gets introduced, we got an admiral bowing in forgiveness, which has been unheard of, and that was broadcast around the world to see. Utter embarrassment for the world government. Then we have them fearing that Kaido and Big Mom would join up. They do. One of the biggest things that was one of their concerns. Then they find out that Doflamingo has been a dictator over Dressrosa all this time, and he's been using his unique skills of manipulating the Celestial Dragons, because he knows what their national treasure is, to constantly manipulate the newspaper so that everything works in his favor. Another embarrassment for the Marines, because Akainu had no idea, but the elders knew, and they didn't bother to tell him. Then we have another moment where they completely absolve the warlords themselves in light of Big Mom and Kaido joining up in an alliance. 2 very extremely powerful, beyond human recognitionly powerful pirates joining forces together in possibly one of the most powerful alliances ever forged, and they just decide to get rid of their one nuclear deterrent that they've been relying on for so long, all because of the events of the Reverie and, King Cobra and King Riku and the events of warlords using their power to cause turmoil in their respective countries. So needless to say, the world government and the Marines, they are not having the best of time with this. They may say they're going after everybody, but I don't think it's going to be that simple. I mean, you don't just walk into another man's house unannounced and the man is armed and you expect to leave out unscathed. Just saying. If you're looking for a fight, you better be hoping that the person if you're going to a player, there's a saying, where is it? I'm trying to remember what it is. Don't go into another person's house unless you're looking for a fight. Don't go into another person's house unannounced unless you're looking for a fight. Or something along those lines. I heard it. I heard some line, I forget which. But back to it. During Bo Hancock's Impel Downs Level 6, Jinbei Okay, despite all this, all the warlords, including former introduced prior to the time skip, fought at the war between the Whitebeard pirates and the Marines. That reminds me of what Piccolo once said in early DBZ. Most of the warlords have a jaded attitude of the world, as their vast amounts of experience have disillusioned them. Crocodile and Moria both scorn Luffy's arrogant behavior, saying that he is too inexperienced to know what the world is truly like. At the time, Luffy had absolutely no idea. It's interesting that Mihawk predicted the Marines would come to his island and still didn't leave. Why would he leave? There's no one capable of making him. There's no one capable. And you know what? Mihawk is going to be fine. You want to know why? The only person who's going to bring Mihawk down is Zoro. That is Zoro's destiny, to become the greatest swordsman in the world. And the only way that's going to happen is if Mihawk's still around to fight Zoro and for Zoro to take that title, which means Mihawk is going to come out of this whole FBI open up situation at his home completely fine. And I really hope Oda doesn't go the route of just giving us the fact that the warlords themselves have been completely disbanded and then just put us right into Act 3 of Wano. I needs to see more of this. And it'd be interesting to see Kobe's interaction with Boa Hancock when they find out that they both have a close affiliation with Luffy. Will they reach a resolution that will be beneficial to Hancock, or is he still going to follow his own personal morals as a Marine and still trying to arrest her? Who knows? I can see Mihawk cutting down about 10 or so ships with his pocket knife, the Kogatana. Seriously, Mihawk is ridiculous. Like his first introduction where he cuts up Krieg's ship and no one notices what actually happens. And the fact is, how good of a swordsman do you have to be to cut a ship in half? And the ship doesn't split apart until a second after. It's like he slices the ship so fast that the ship itself doesn't know that it's been cut in half until everything starts to settle. Like you see it in anime. People cut people so fast, and then you're wondering what happened, and then you don't realize what happens until the dude's head starts to fall off of his neck, but he's still conscious enough to notice, like, wait, something's wrong. What happened? And then it just falls off. Mihawk is going to decimate every single Marine that comes his way because there is no one to challenge him. If he doesn't know their names, they're not a challenge for him. Period. If he doesn't know their names, they're not a challenge for him. He only recognizes the names of people who he could see in his league. He knows of Vista, he knows of Zoro, he knows of Shanks, he knows every person he has said the name of are the only people who are capable of giving him an even fairly decent challenge. If he doesn't know your name, you're not worth his time, period. Crocodile and Moria both scorn Luffy's arrogant behavior, saying that he's too inexperienced to know what the world is truly like. Mihawk behaved in a similar fashion in his duel with Zoro, though he hopes that he will be successful. Doflamingo, spoiled by his former celestial dragon heritage and twisted by being repeatedly tortured afterwards, believed there is no true justice in the world and that both the Marines and pirates are foolish if they think they are upholding it. Hancock, through her horrid experience as a slave, considers all men of the world to be scum, outside of Luffy, whom she's in love with, and anyone whom Luffy is on good terms with. Rayleigh, who is her benefactor, and that's in parentheses, and Fisher Tiger, who was responsible for liberating her from slavery. Due to having witnessed his people's oppression, suffering, and enslavement by the human race, Jinbei once held contempt for them. Despite advocating the cause of interspecies cooperation and equality, Jinbei honestly admits he is ambivalent about whether his decision was correct. Blackbeard believes there is no such thing as justice in the world. Law believes the weak have no right to choose how they die or should be abandoned if considered a liability. Weevil believed that his alleged blood heritage is what makes a true family, not by bonds of friendship, and Buggy believes that only gold, silver, and jewels are the only thing that can be considered as treasure. So this is the viewpoint of the warlords thus far. And the members are, well, they're all former now. They're not current anymore. Oh, good lord. I never thought I'd see the day when all these warlords' names would be under the former members banner. But the former members of all warlords who were warlords was Dracula Mihawk, Crocodile, Don Quixote do Flamingo, Bartholomew Kuma, Gecko Moria, Boa Hancock, Jimbei, Marshall D. Teach, Trafalgar Law, Buggy, and Edward Weevil, with their related organizations being Baroque Works, Don Quixote Pirates, Thriller Bark Pirates, the Kuja Pirates, the Sun Pirates, the Blackbeard Pirates, the Hard Pirates, and Buggy's Delivery Service. And their affiliation was with the world government previously. And going through its members' profile, we have Dracula Mihawk, current age 43, 198 centimeters, born on the 9th of March, bounty unknown. Abilities and powers: the Kogatana, world's greatest swordsman, the Yoru Black Blade, armament hockey, observation hockey, exceptional eyesight, and great physical strength. Epithet: Hawkeyes and greatest swordsman in the world. Animal theme: Hawk, status revoked, organization disbanded. Then we have Jimbei, age 46, 301 centimeters, 9 feet 10 and a half inches tall. April 2nd is his birthday, with a former bounty of 250 million. Communication with marine life: Fishman karate, Fishman jiu-jitsu, Fishman strength, armament hockey, observation hockey. Master tactician, expert diplomat, advanced helmsman skills, fast swimming, great physical strength, and great endurance. Former epithet is Knight of the Sea. His animal theme is whale shark. Status resigned. Intention to fight the world government during the Battle of Marineford. Do you think they'll hunt the former warlords, Crocodile or Moria? Well, at this point, they were already trying to kill Moria at the Battle of Marineford. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try and go after Crocodile or Moria. But as it is presently, I feel like they're only going to go after the ones who were still holding their position. And at the very least, they're only going after the ones they know the location of. They know the location of where Weevil is somehow, because I still feel like Weevil is already on the island where Whitebeard was born. And he's already there trying to look for the treasure that his father was holding on to. And they already know the location of Buggy, they know the location of Boa Hancock, and they know the location of Mihawk. Isn't Moria dead, or was it just Absalom? It was just Absalom. Katarina Devon now has... No, Shiryu of the Rain now has Absalom's devil fruit. So they killed Absalom, they took his devil fruit, and now Shiryu has it. But Moria is there at the Beehive Island with Blackbeard. We haven't seen him since, but I don't know if Blackbeard is going to kill Moria and try to... I don't know if Moria is going to get killed by Blackbeard, or Moria could be under Blackbeard's flag. He could be, but given that Moria is already a very prideful person, I highly doubt that he would want to serve under anyone. Like his entire state of being is like... Okay, that's enough of that. His entire being was just him doing things on his own and letting other people do stuff for him. Sorry, Rays, you're just being... Don't spam. That's not necessary. It isn't. This is One Piece. There's other people that you can look at if you want to talk about Naruto. Just being honest with you. This is One Piece talk. Wouldn't be surprised if he leaves a dislike just because I timed him out. Don't care. Moving on. Sorry, that sounded a little bit too blunt. My apologies. But still, I feel like Moria wouldn't want to serve under Blackbeard because Moria is very prideful and he doesn't feel like he's the type to serve under anyone, but he would rather have his own underlings do all the heavy lifting for him. So I don't think Moria will sail under Blackbeard's flag, but then again, I don't know what he's thinking in this situation. I mean, he just saw one of his former crewmates' devil fruit power in the hands of someone who was not one of his own crewmates. So there's no telling how he's thinking right about now. All right, so going down the list of former members, Crocodile, age 46, 8'3", Makes me want to see Zoro versus Shiryu even more. I feel like Zoro's going to have to go through Shiryu before he can take on Mihawk. Because Shiryu, because think about it, Zoro has fought against numerous swordsmen, but he has never fought one where he couldn't see them. So I feel like the ultimate test of Zoro's ability and his observation haki abilities would be to fight someone who can disappear from sight, and he has to just sense through haki alone. That's how I feel. So Zoro has to fight Shiryu before he fights Mihawk. What am I reading from? I'm reading from the wiki, the One Piece wiki. It has the whole list of the Warlord info and everything, and then we'll talk more about it. But Crocodile, age 46, height 8'3". Like, these people are ridiculously tall. Like 8 feet tall. Like, you don't even get that high in basketball. And you know how people are in basketball. Some of them are really big, but some of them can't really move overly naturally, like super agile. Like sure, they can play basketball, but they just got really big limbs, and you don't think that they can move all that well because of how much weight they need to move in order to move all of that weight. But we got people who are 9 feet tall, we got people who are 8 feet tall, we got people who are 10 feet tall, and they got no issues just moving like normal people in One Piece of Weird. Birth date of September 5th with a former bounty of 81 million. Gold alloy hook, scorpion poison, scorpion venom, the sand fruit, master tactician, high intelligence and great physical strength. Known simply as Sir as his epithet, Sir Crocodile, with his animal theme being crocodile, status revoked, actions in Alabasta, which is one of the reasons why the warlords themselves was revoked, was because of Crocodile's actions in Alabasta and Doflamingo's actions in Dressrosa. Then we have Don Quixote Doflamingo, age 41, 10 feet tall. October 23rd is his birthday with a former bounty of 340 million. He has the powers of the string fruit, flintlock pistol with lead bullets that he used exclusively on Law. He has armament haki, conquerors haki, and observation haki. Great physical strength, great speed and agility, great endurance, high intelligence, influential underworld negotiator, and is one of the few people that we've seen that has an awakened devil fruit, with his epithet being the Heavenly Yaksha, also known as the Heavenly Demon, with his animal theme being a flamingo, if it wasn't already obvious. His status was revoked due to his actions in Dressrosa. Then we have Bartholomew Kuma, age 47, with him being a ridiculously tall 22 feet and 6 inches. February 9th is his birthday, with his former bounty being 296 million. He has the power of the pawpaw fruit, is a cyborg, and has lasers in his body. So he's literally just overpowered. His body enhancements make him twice as tough as before, and he also has the ability to deflect things away from him. So even if stuff hits him, it won't phase him. But stuff that hits his paw pads, he's able to pretty much just repel whatever it is. Even if it's semi-intangible themes like a flame bird star from Usopp. Able to reflect that, no problem. With the epithet of Tyrant and the current epithet of PX0. His animal theme is a bear, status revoked as the organization has disbanded. Yep, he's 22 feet tall. That joker is big. He is taller than 2 Doflamingos. And Doflamingo already big. Then we have Marshall D. Teach, age 40, with his height being 11 feet 2 inches. August 3rd is his birthday with no bounty. This man was able to become a warlord with no bounty, nothing known about him that the world government could surmise, and his only feat being bringing in Ace to the world government, and that automatically earned him a spot. So he's a master tactician. One day I'm going to talk about the genius of Blackbeard and how this man manipulated the entire world to his own benefit to gain powers insurmountable and shock the world on how dangerous he really is and how much of a threat he poses in the future. This dude with literally no bounty, no info known about him, with little to no known major feats about him before his actions of taking down Ace and turning him into world government and becoming a warlord, managed to not only gain a position that a lot of pirates sometimes even dream of because of the amnesty and the free reign that they are allowed when they become a warlord. Because when you become a warlord, the world government kind of turns a blind eye to some of your actions due to them being under your employ. Well, if it's them doing it, then we won't worry about it because we need them in order to keep these pirates in line. Blackbeard managed to get into this exclusive group funded by the world government, not only to, cement himself as like a well-known pirate in that one in particular instance, but also gain access to level 6 of Impel Down, because being a warlord allows you certain privileges, and having access to Impel Down is one of those privileges. And he gains access to level 6 and is able to recruit super powerful and so notorious that their entire history has been wiped from history, recruits these people into his own crew, then takes that same crew, goes to the Battle of Marineford, waits. Okay, that's enough. I mean, disrespect rays of, but this is just stop being deliberate. All right. We're not going to be hearing from that anymore. That's it. Back to what I was saying. Blackbeard is like an even more potentially dangerous version of Bleach's Noitora. They're both masters of hit and run and poaching tactics. Yes, but with Blackbeard, he managed to not only fool everyone in the warlords, but everyone in the world government. He basically gained the position of warlord just so he could get access to Impel Down, recruit ridiculously powerful and dangerous people into his crew. Then he waits until the Battle of Marineford gets to like its head and waits for everyone to be tired and waits for everyone to be near death. Then he announces his presence, goes after Whitebeard, and then ends up killing him along with his crew, takes his devil fruit power, becoming the very first person in One Piece history to literally gain 2 devil fruit powers. One that allows him to crush everything in darkness, and one that allows him to destroy everything with the Quake fruit. And not to mention become a Yonko in the process, usurping Whitebeard's position and literally cementing himself as possibly the end-all, beat-all boss of One Piece, or one of the final obstacles the Straw Hats have to face before they actually get to Raftel and find the One Piece itself. So yeah, Blackbeard, despite his idiocy sometimes, despite how brazen he can be, despite how much he will talk and will not shut up about it, confused. If he had access to Impel Down, then why did Magellan attack him? Being a warlord does not mean that the world government won't touch you in any way. It just means that in Impel Down, Impel Down is one of those rare anything goes type place. I mean, the world government won't know if Magellan attacked Blackbeard if he makes it so that Blackbeard isn't able to tell anyone about it. Impel Down it has its own set of rules. What happens in Impel Down stays in Impel Down. It's like Las Vegas, but people die every single day. But yeah, Blackbeard is a genius. He literally went without making a name, lying and waiting. This dude had the patience of the highest level of patience. He waited until the very devil fruit that he wanted. I'm already starting to do a Blackbeard talk about. We're gonna have to cover this another time. But Blackbeard's a genius, and I'm gonna discuss him at another time. He was breaking the rules straight up. Yeah, he was. And Magellan wasn't having any Magellan wasn't having any of it. That's why he doused him in poison. But Shiryu broke the rules as well and decided to leave the world government and gave Blackbeard and the rest of his crew all the antidotes so they could keep doing what they wanted. And the result of them breaking everyone out of level 6 resulted in Magellan getting severely beaten down and losing his position as warden. I think because Blackbeard was attacking the Impel Down guards. Yeah. He was already he knew Blackbeard knew that what he was doing was wrong, but he wanted to do it anyway. With his position as warlord and plus as how powerful he was, he knew what he wanted and he wasn't about to allow anyone to stop him despite the consequences. So They weren't supposed to be in Impel Down. That's why Magellan attacked them, but Blackbeard wasn't about to have any of that. So, that is Marshall D. Teach. Then we get to Gecko Moria, age 50, 22 feet tall as well. And he's 1 inch taller than Kuma. And I think it's the spiky haircut. Born September 5th with a former bounty of 320 million, giant scissors, shadow fruit, and zombie army. We currently know that he's somewhere with Blackbeard right now, or he may have left. We don't know because we haven't seen him yet. His epithet is he doesn't have one, but his animal theme is both a gecko and a bat. Status revoked, failure to defeat the Straw Hat Pirates, and failure at the Battle of Marineford. So your status of a warlord can be revoked if you prove to be far too weak in your position to uphold it. If you're defeated far too many times, then your status is revoked. Luffy defeated Crocodile, they revoked his position. Gecko Moria failed to defeat Straw Hat, and it was considered for him to be defeated. Then he got defeated at Marineford by Jinbei, and that's what led the higher-ups to pretty much say, well, he's no longer of any use to us because he's too weak. He keeps getting beat down. Why do we have him still? And they try to stick some pacifistas on him. But we find out that he escapes, and he's out in the New World right now. So that's where Gecko Moria is. Whether he turns up later in the story remains to be seen. We have Boa Hancock, age 31, 6 feet and 3 1/4 of an inch. September 2nd is her birth date. 80 million is her former bounty. She has access to armament, observation, and Conqueror's Haki, making her the only female character in One Piece so far to have Conqueror's Haki that we have seen, other than Big Mom. I almost did not correct myself. I'm sorry. She has access to the Love fruit. She has her snake Salome, great physical strength and great speed and agility. She's ridiculously strong. I mean, she, along with Mihawk and Doflamingo, and Boa Hancock are one of the few people that showed up for the fight of Marineford that actually walked away from that battle completely unscathed. And due to the time skip actions, Doflamingo can't be counted as a person who has never had any injury inflicted on him anymore due to his fight with both Law and Luffy. So that makes Mihawk and Boa Hancock the only people who have never suffered a single injury in the entire series thus far, which speaks to their level of skill. Which means that if you can go in time, she didn't break a sweat during the war. No, didn't break a sweat at all. And she was going up against pirates and marines. She did not care. She was just bodying everyone. Do you know how hurtful it's got to be to get kicked by Boa Hancock and to see that half of your head crumble away to stone? What if it goes normal again? That's your head busted open. So yeah. Boa Hancock is ridiculously strong. With her physical capabilities mixed with her love fruit, she is able to literally beat anybody. Only people with strong wills are able to resist her, and only people with absolutely no desire in their hearts for people. Well, only people who have absolutely no attraction to her whatsoever cannot be affected by her devil fruit. Boa has to have picked up some new or previously unseen attacks and techniques over the past 2 years. Oh, I highly doubt that the warlords themselves have been sitting on their laurels, not training. I mean, even though Mihawk is not considered, but he is the world's greatest swordsman, I doubt that he's just chilling. I'm pretty sure he takes the moment to, spar with the mandrills on his island from time to time just to keep his skills sharp. I'm pretty sure he has like over 100 of them attack him at once, and he defeats them all at once. I would not be surprised. But she has armament, observation, and Conqueror's Haki. She has access to Salome, her giant pet boa, great physical strength and great speed and agility. She's ridiculously fast, able to attack people in multiple succession without any of them being able to react. Her epithet is the Pirate Empress and Snake Princess, with her animal theme obviously being a snake. Status revoked as the organization has been disbanded. Trafalgar di Waterloo, age 26. At that time, he's younger than me. 6'3" and 1/4 of an inch. October 6th is his birthday with a former bounty of 440, well, a current bounty of 440 million. Master tactician, advanced medical skills, swordsman, the Ope Ope no Mi, his Kikoku sword, armament hockey, observation hockey, great physical strength, great endurance, high intelligence, and the will of D. Epithet known as the Surgeon of Death. Spotted Seal is his animal theme. Status revoked. Actions in Dressrosa, revoked by Fujitora himself. Buggy, 39. Height 6'3". August 8 is his birthday with a bounty of 15 million. Blades, buggy balls, muggy balls, and the chop chop fruit. Clown epithet, the clown and the star clown. He has no animal theme. His status has been revoked as the organization has been disbanded. And we have Edward Weevil, 35. 22 feet and 3 inches. So he's just as tall as Bartholomew Kuma and Gecko Moria. He's actually shorter than Bartholomew, but still, 22 feet tall is still tall. Birth date is December 10th with a bounty of 480 million. He has a Bacento, he has armament hockey, and observation hockey. Anthony Castro, welcome back. With his epithet being known as Whitebeard Jr., but that's in parentheses because he's definitely not the son of Whitebeard. With his animal theme obviously being a weevil. Status revoked as the organization has been disbanded. So, now we're going down to the nitty-gritty because we have a lot of info to cover, just like on their strength and duties and mythology of the government dogs. And I'm only going to go through all of it. I'm going to go through all of it because I'm kind of waiting on a call from my dad because he needs me to help out with a car. But I'm just waiting on that call from him so I can go help him out for the day. But even Buggy has some new attacks or tricks up his sleeves to use while he runs away. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see just how powerful they are after the time skip because everyone learns something new. Everyone learns something new. All right, so going into the relationships of the warlords themselves, most warlords seem to have only limited knowledge of each other, such as Jinbei never meeting Hancock before her visit to Impel Down. However, some others, such as Doflamingo and Crocodile, converse as though they are familiar with each other. In fact, Doflamingo is knowledgeable of Kuma's participation in the Pacifista program, yet does not know of his past relationship with the revolutionaries. During these interactions, most of them are hostile, such as Jinbei and Crocodile snarling at each other over matters with Whitebeard. Crocodile wants to kill Whitebeard, Jinbei wants to protect Whitebeard. So you see how that kind of clashes. At times, however, they might be courteous, such as Kuma offering to help Moria in fighting against the Straw Hat Pirates, though the latter angrily refused. Law used to be Doflamingo's subordinate, but eventually, after joining, Law openly betrayed and blackmailed his former superior to resign from the warlords, threatening not just the man, but the balance of the seven once again. So, other relationships is with Dracul Mihawk. His personal affiliation is a friendly rivalry with Shanks, interest in Roronoa Zoro's skills and agreed to train him, and keeping an eye on the Straw Hat Pirates. Friction against the world government. Got acquainted with the Straw Hat Pirates prior to the Marines becoming aware of them. Appears to be a friend of Shanks, one of the Yonko. He refused to further aid the Marines at the Battle of Marineford when Shanks showed up. So, it just speaks to the level and the presence that Shanks gives when Mihawk says, I agreed to help you fight Whitebeard, but Shanks is another matter entirely. And you guys should just stop while you're ahead as well. Provided shelter and training to Roronoa Zoro during the 2-year time skip. And with his, and Yonko, his relationship with the Yonko is former rival of Shanks, though the two seem to be on good terms. Seems to be interested at the prospect of fighting Whitebeard and attempted to attack him before being stopped by Jozu, and sparred evenly for some time with Vista of the Whitebeard Pirates, showed him respect as a swordsman. The only person we've seen Mihawk show respect to as a swordsman in the entire series other than Zoro and Shanks. Then we have Jinbei. His personal affiliation, is member of the Straw Hat Pirates, helmsman. Former second captain of the Sun Pirates, Whitebeard Pirates ally, and former ally of the Big Mom Pirates. His affiliation friction against the world government, helped hide slaves and attack marine ships as a member of the Sun Pirates, refused to fight on behalf of the world government against Whitebeard, and was imprisoned in Impel Down and forfeited his position as a warlord member when he escaped from Impel Down and waged war against Marineford in order to prevent Ace's death, which ended in failure. Upon landing in the war, Jinbei told Sengoku that he officially resigned from the warlords, then participated in the war on behalf of Whitebeard. After Ace's and Whitebeard's deaths, he remained siding with the Whitebeard pirates and Monkey D. Luffy. Then he returned to Marineford after the war and helped Luffy ring the Oxbell, and then formed an alliance with two members of the Worst Generation. Thoughts on Mihawk's current bounty? I don't know. It's kind of hard. I don't want it to be too high and ridiculous, but it has to be one worthy of the title of the person who's the greatest swordsman in the world. But I feel like it's possibly in the 100 million mark. I feel either 1 million or maybe even a billion, given his status. So I wouldn't be surprised. And a relationship with Yonko for Jinbei is loyal to the Whitebeard pirates, at least 1 billion. Yes, at least 1 billion. Because I feel like Mihawk is in the same league in terms of absolute power as, like, you know, Katakuri and Jack, people who have billion-berry bounties. I feel like Mihawk is in that same league due to how strong he is. But the fact that he's able to match up with a lot of people who are on Yonko crews, no problem whatsoever, just may have him at a higher level than that, possibly. But Jinbei's relationship with the Yonko is loyal to the Whitebeard pirates because of Whitebeard's protection of Fishman Island, hates Blackbeard for betraying and killing Whitebeard and his role in Ace's death, allied with the Big Mom pirates to protect Fishman Island, but betrayed them to join the Straw Hat Pirates, and his former first mate, Aladdin, is married to Charlotte Praline, one of Big Mom's daughters. Then we move on to Crocodile, personal affiliation, former leader of Baroque Works, former hero of Alabasta, and former manager of Rain Dinners. Friction with the world government led the illegal organization Baroque Works, seek to obtain the ancient weapon Pluton, abused his title and privileges, was stripped of his status, arrested, and then imprisoned in Impel Down, had invaded Marineford with Monkey D. Luffy and Jinbei, fought against the Kainu to protect Luffy, and after the war against Whitebeard, he is on the loose once again. Luffy's Kong guns are going to be ruthless. I feel like they are, especially now that he's learning to affect Haki without actually touching things. I feel like his attacks are going to be a lot more devastating because even it's functioning just like Sage Jutsu. He doesn't have to touch you to hit you now. On that note, I sincerely hope that Sabo isn't dead. I doubt that Sabo is dead. I doubt it. We just got him back. He just showed up in Dressrosa. He's alive and well. And he got his hands on Ace's Devil Fruit. I highly doubt that Sabo would go through all of this. We get introduced to him. We see him carry on the will of Ace just for him to die off screen in a fight at the Reverie. I highly doubt that Sabo's dead. It may seem like it's implying, but given the fact this is Big News Morgan's and he himself said that whatever sells papers, that's exactly the type of title we're going to put on this paper. So even Big News Morgan is putting some false stuff out there. Like he's calling Luffy the 5th Yonko, even though not everyone will acknowledge him. So I feel like all this being done and everyone reacting the way they are is because Big News Morgan's put that in the headlines. Not because it's actually true, but because that's what would sell papers. And Crocodile's affiliation with the Yonko is, in the past, he was defeated by Whitebeard. As a result, he still held a grudge against him. But then he also allied with the Whitebeard pirates to protect Luffy, for whatever his own personal reason. Something was like floating on my eye, not like a little film, but you ever had like little small bits of debris and it's just laying there? It's annoying. Then we come to Don Quixote do Flamingo, who has a very long list of stuff. Personal affiliation, former captain of the Don Quixote Pirates, former king of Dressrosa, former leader of the Bellamy Pirates, former owner of the Human Auctioning House, commanded Virgo and through him assisted Caesar Clown, and former owner of the Smile Factory. HTC, welcome. We're talking about the warlords and how they ended up where they are. We're just talking about their history, their responsibilities, all the people affiliated with them, and the people's history with this group as a whole, and why they ended up where they are now. And friction with the world government, evaded capture by Sudu for at least 13 years, Vice Admiral Sudu. Murdered Commander Don Quixote Rocinante, his own brother, who was working undercover for Sengoku against the Don Quixote pirates. Eyes itching, distracting. Captured ships holding the heavenly tribute for the world nobles and blackmailed the world government to acquire his warlord position. He is aware of the world government's national treasure and uses this to blackmail them to give him the same powers as a world noble would have, e.g. using CP0 for his own means. He has used his power to make Marines fight each other for his own entertainment. Former ownership of the human auctioning house may have had some impact on the justice system, but apparently not enough to lose his position. Claimed that he has very little interest in the world government and will leave the warlords if they start giving him work that does not interest him. Has immense control over the criminal underworld under the alias of Joker. Used Virgo as a mole in the Marines, manipulating certain actions and events through him to how he sees fit. Severely wounded Vice Admiral Smoker. Illegally manufactured artificial devil fruits. Overthrew Dressrosa and hid all evidence of his tyrannical activities until exposed, at which point he tried to annihilate the entire kingdom. Sought to destroy everything in the world ruled by the celestial dragons, and abused his title and privileges, was stripped from his title and arrested and locked up at Impel Down Level 6. Long list of insurrections. Then we get his relationship with a Yonko. Had formed an alliance with Kaido to create a Zoan-based army. Due to the loss of the artificial devil fruit production with Doflamingo's defeat, Kaido cannot acquire any more smiles, and Kaido's subordinate Jack attempted to save Doflamingo from his imprisonment, but fails. It's a lot on Doflamingo's part. He's done so much as a warlord. When it comes to character like Doflamingo and Dio, you can easily make a nature versus nurture argument concerning their moralities and worldviews. She and Buggy are the only warlords you care about, but Buggy is powerful to protect himself. So is Boa Hancock. I mean, I'm not worried about Hancock. She's gonna be fine. I mean, think about it. They have to get through the warriors of Amazon Lily before they can get to her. And every single warrior on that island is capable of using armament hockey with arrows. So if they can't get past the warriors, they're not getting anywhere near Boa. Then we move on to Bartholomew Kuma. Personal affiliation. Former king of the Sorbet Kingdom. Former Revolutionary Army member. Pacifista program participant. And slave to rent for the world nobles. Her kicks are insta-kills if she hits your head. Yeah. And friction with the world government for Kuma assisted the Straw Hat Pirates by allowing them to escape from death in two almost consecutive situations during the aftermath of Thriller Bark and during the battle against Admiral Kizaru, Sentomaru, and a Pacifista, PX-1. Is said to have hated the world government before conversion into a Pacifista. After the conversion's finalization, he has lost his free will and becomes a fully obedient puppet, being used as a personal punching bag for the world nobles. Guarded the Thousand Sunny until the Straw Hats returned and asked Vegapunk to program him with this mission before giving up his personality, though it contradicted his role and function as a pacifista, and he currently has no Yonko ties. Marshal D. Teach. Personal affiliation. Former subordinate of Whitebeard Pirates 2nd Division, Admiral of the Blackbeard Pirates, and current Yonko. Back with food. I ate mine before I did this stream. I really don't like, even though I've done it before, I really don't like eating during streams because I'd be more concerned with eating rather than reading, and it throws off my focus a little bit because I try to talk, then I eat, then I talk, then I eat. So I prefer to eat either before I stream or after. Current Yonko, an admiral of the Blackbeard pirates, friction with the world government, stole a marine ship with his crew, using it to break into Impel Down, attacking the prison guards in the process and severely injuring its warden, Magellan. Recruited 5 level 6 Impel Down prisoners from into his crew, as well as letting loose others, causing global scale danger. Because level 6 is an area where people whose entire criminal history is wiped clean. They are that dangerous. And Blackbeard just lets all of them out in a battle royale. And only those who survive are the ones who join his crew. Upon arriving at Marineford, he forfeited his title and he tried to destroy Marineford. Actions he took in rising to power ultimately served as the trigger for the Whitebeard War, marking the end of the golden age of piracy and inspiring a new pirate era he claims will be his. An affiliation with Yonko gave Shanks the 3 scars on his eyes sometime in the past, of which I need to know the history of. Earned Whitebeard's wrath by betraying his former comrades by killing the 4th Division Commander, Thatch. Turned in Portgas D. Ace, Whitebeard's 2nd Division Commander, to the world government. With the help of his crew, he killed the weakened Whitebeard and stole his Devil Fruit abilities. He fought against and defeated the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates during the Payback War. I need to find out more about this. And became a Yonko sometime in the 2 years after the Battle of Marineford, acquiring many of the Whitebeard pirates' old territories. Then we get to Gecko Moria, personal affiliation. Former captain of an unknown crew that was massacred by Kaido. Former master of Thriller Bark and Mysterious 4. Friction with the world government. Abduction of civilians and marines, plus the inconvenience inflicted by the theft of their shadows, was troublesome. His defeat against Monkey D. Luffy risked causing a global uproar if it had not been covered up. And you know what? Speaking of cover-ups, they sent a CP0 agent to go after Morgans to print whatever they wanted. Big News Morgans bodied this CP agent and said, "I'm gonna print what I want. You can take that check and shove it because I'm gonna put whatever I want in this paper." So Big News Morgans ain't taking nothing from nobody, including the world government, and he's gonna put what he wants in the paper, regardless of whether the world government likes it or not. And the fact that he has a mobile headquarters means that it's hard for the world government to pin him down. Didn't care which side of the war won, but thought that Whitebeard's death would be a treat. He used the corpses and shadows of Marines to make zombies and to power himself up. And after the war, Doflamingo and the pacifistas attacked him and drove him away, claiming that the world government decided to disown him due to his weakness. And his affiliation to Yonko is despises Kaido for the massacre of his old crew and still bears emotional trauma. He created his army of zombies specifically to get revenge on Kaido. Took the shadow from Lola, one of Big Mom's daughters, and found joy in the prospect of Whitebeard's death and attempted to kill Little Oars Jr. to make him one of his zombies. Then we have Boa Hancock, personal affiliation, former world noble slave, captain of the Kuja pirates, empress of Amazon Lily and the Kuja tribe, loyal to Monkey D. Luffy and his self-proclaimed lover. Much to the ire of everyone who loves Boa Hancock and finds her extremely attractive. Friction with the world government. She despises the world nobles for what they did to her and her sisters, because when they were kids, they were force-fed devil fruits, and that's why they have it. Plus, they were branded with the slave mark on their backs, which caused them to pretty much come up with a story that if you ever looked at the backs of the Boa sisters, you will turn to stone. Initially refused to live up to her title as warlord and fight Whitebeard, accepted to fight Whitebeard only because this allowed Monkey D. Luffy to rescue the important prisoner Porcus the Ace, unknown to the world government. Even though she agreed to fight against Whitebeard, she had made it clear that the Marines are not her allies by attacking without any prejudice both pirates and Marines alike during the war. Hancock didn't care. She attacked everybody. Openly assisted Luffy by striking Commodore Smoker and destroying some pacifistas, and it speaks on her level of power because she broke Smoker's weapon, which is tipped with like sea stone, which is useful against devil fruit users. She even declared Luffy as her beloved, and then again in Sabaody archipelago, she helped him and his crew escape from the Marines, and official actions have yet to be taken against her position. She currently has no affiliation with any Yonko. Then we have Trafalgar di Waterro, former member of the Don Quixote Pirates, captain of the Heart Pirates, temporary ally of Monkey D. Luffy, and performed surgery on him to save his life. Temporary collaboration with Caesar Clown. Could Kaido blitz Blackbeard? Well, the world government elders did say that out of the people in the entire world, Big Mom and Kaido and Marco, like a handful of people are the only ones capable of going toe-to-toe with Blackbeard and being the ones capable of stopping his rampage. So Kaido is definitely on the list that could take on Blackbeard. Can you imagine Kobe, Boa Hancock, Boa, and Bartholomew actually marking out fanboying and girling about Luffy? I feel like the conversation with Boa knowing Luffy is going to come up when Kobe actually meets up with Boa. And Law formed an alliance with Monkey D. Luffy. Friction against the world government. Secretly carries the initial D until his fight against Doflamingo, battled a large number of Marines in a pacifista at Sabaody Archipelago, saved Monkey D. Luffy, an important pirate at large at the climax of the Battle of Marineford, openly battled the Marines at Punk Hazard, as well as allowing Luffy to escape the clutches of Vice Admiral Smoker, despite being a warlord at that point. Allied himself with Caesar Clown, an enemy of the Marines, as a part of his plot against Don Quixote Doflamingo, and formed an alliance with Monkey D. Luffy, planning to depose Kaido. The alliance causes this status as a warlord to be revoked, and successfully deposed Doflamingo and defeated the Don Quixote pirates with the help of Monkey D. Luffy. His affiliation with the Yonko became an enemy of Kaido for his part in Doflamingo's defeat and destroying Smiles. He forms and co-leads an alliance specifically created to take down Kaido. And we got two more people. We have Buggy! God Buggy! Buggy D. Clown. Buggy, former cabin boy of the Roger Pirates, captain of the Buggy Pirates, co-leader of the Buggy and Alvida Alliance, and leader of the Buggy's Delivery. Former cabin friction with the world government is, once again, former cabin boy on the Pirate King Gold D. Rogers ship, believed to be the co-orchestrator of the biggest mass break out from Impel Down along with Monkey D. Luffy, recruited several Impel Down prisoners into his crew, regarded as a major threat to the world government due to his connections to Gold, Roger, and Shanks, inadvertently saved Luffy and Jinbei at the end of the Battle of Marineford. And his affiliation with the Yonko is, once again, former cabin boy of the Roger Pirates along with Shanks, fought against the Whitebeard Pirates many times during the past as part of Gold D. Rogers' crew, and dreamed of taking the Yonko's position. Assisted Whitebeard during the Battle of Marineford, and stated by a Marine that he is like a brother to Shanks. And letting that rumor spread around just causes his reputation to be all the more higher. And last but not least, we are almost done, is Edward Weevil, alleged son of the late Yonko Edward Newgate, captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, and son of Miss Bakken. Friction against the world government, actively engaging in battle against remaining allies, captains and divisions of the Whitebeard Pirates who do not recognize him as Whitebeard's son, and in the hopes of obtaining his fortune. Frequently causes massive casualties and destructions of cities in the wake of his rampages, and feared for his powers and strength, rivaling those of a young Whitebeard in his prime. And relation to Yonko is, claims to have a direct blood tie to Whitebeard, seeks to acquire the riches left behind by Whitebeard along with his mother, even though there isn't any because all of it went to his hometown, attacked Whitebeard's allies in search of his treasure, and has expressed a desire to Whitebeard's death by killing Blackbeard. Alright, so that is the relationship as a whole of all the warlords. Now we go into the methodology of the government dogs. I think I cracked all the bones there in the beginning. Becoming a warlord. A pirate may choose to join the warlords if a space becomes vacant, which means that at least one warlord must resign or be expelled from the group, the former being Jinbei's case and the later being Crocodile's case. However, in order for one to become a warlord, once this position opens up, one must be able to exhibit their strength against other pirates. While choosing to pledge loyalty to the world government, this ironically encourages pirates to gain infamy to become a warlord by making a pact with the five elders. Yes, I'm reading the wiki. And it's funny that the world government hates pirates, yet they employ pirates to deter pirates who then want to increase their infamy as a pirate to become a warlord, and then in turn causes other peoples to become pirates, gain infamy, cause trouble around the world, so they can become a warlord as well. So the world government, despite its intention, is ironically creating the very thing it wants to get rid of. If the pirate in question can be used as intimidation, the position may be offered to them, if no other pirate has accepted the position or proven to be more of an asset to the world government. Now you can read along. Yes, read along with me! We all shall take part in this read-through of the Warlords of the Sea. As expected, most members were already notorious pirates with high bounties, but even relatively unknown pirates can be admitted if they accomplish a feat to prove their strength. Blackbeard's victories over Portgas the Ace in Trafalgar Law, obtaining and sending the hearts of 100 pirates to Marine headquarters, are examples. The world government can also be extorted by pirates in offering the prestigious status. This was demonstrated by Doflamingo, who, when he ransomed the heavenly tribute meant for the world nobles, to be appointed a vacant position. Some cases also happen, such as Jinbei, Buggy, and Ace, who were offered a position in the organization that sends the letters via the world government's carrier bat to their location, and the pirates reply by coming to Marine headquarters as a sign of accepting the invitation, or declining the offer. Let that sink in. Ace was offered the chance to become a warlord. Can you imagine Ace being a warlord? That's crazy that he was given that chance. Duties of the warlords themselves. As stated before, the warlords are one pieces parallel to historical real-life privateers. Sudu versus Boa. I'd say Sudu versus Granny Nyo, because we don't know how strong Granny Nyo is, but
you don't know how strong Granny Nyo is. But I feel that that Granny Nyo will go against Sudu would be a most worthwhile fight.
Trying to sound like the voice actor for her. Duties of the warlords. They do not express open defiance to the authority of the world government, but are not obligated to follow its orders either. They are technically only allowed to attack other pirates and must also compensate the world government with a portion of their plunder, although their regulation is not followed most of the time. Each member of the warlords must also have strong intimidation skills and a fearsome image to put off others becoming a pirate and make them fear them, which is, kind of moot when you have people who have like indomitable wills and still want to become pirates even after facing against these guys. And pirates are still coming out of the woodworks despite this. So I feel like this intimidation tactic isn't working quite as well as the world government would have hoped. In addition, given the discussion between Bartholomew Kuma and the Five Elders, it can be assumed that once someone becomes appointed to the warlords, they must be undefeated to maintain their position, or at least are not allowed to have a widely known debacle or scandal that affects their reputation. Crocodile, Gecko Moria, and Doflamingo being prime examples. Some of the members do various tasks for the government, such as conquering new islands for the world government, described as liberating, and protecting nations, but their ultimate purpose is to keep other pirates in check. Most importantly, the warlords provide assistance to maintain the balance of the three great powers, now two great powers. Technically speaking, the warlords are considered allies of the government, and in times of war are obligated to collaborate with the Marines. Still, many Marine officers, for example, Vice Admiral Smoker, Admiral Kizaru, and former Fleet Admiral Sengoku, despise them and consider the Shichibukai to still be pirates. I call them Shichibukai instead of warlords. It's a habit. Several high-ranking Marines expressed surprise that even two of the warlords actually bothered to show up when summoned for the meeting about Crocodile's removal, and they were shocked when a third arrived. Tellingly, of the others beside Kuma that showed up, Doflamingo came out of sheer boredom, passing the time before the meeting by nearly forcing two Marines to duel each other. And Mihawk came only to hear about the pirates being discussed in the meeting. When they are not under orders of the world government, they have no commitment to assist the efforts of the Marines whatsoever. Most of the warlords appear to show great apathy towards the world government, and in some cases, even hostility. During the battle with the Whitebeard pirates, Moria stated he does not care who wins, and Boa Hancock openingly attacked both Marines and pirates. Whew, we are almost done, but there's so much. There is so much! And I haven't even gotten to the entire history. Oh, there's so much. But benefits and concessions. In exchange for these services, the warlords are pardoned for their former actions and any existing bounties are rescinded. The enemy ship capture warrant allows the warlords to legally plunder other pirates in uncivilized lands, most likely referring to countries not affiliated with the world government, so long as they give a portion of their loot to the government. As the warlords are no longer outlaws, they can make money through legitimate business as well as bounty hunting. Some, however, are content to simply float around the sea on their ships. The government does not seem to mind, and the warlords are granted a great deal of autonomy in how they operate, at least thus far. Other benefits include access to resources normally out of bounds to normal citizens and pirates, such as the use of sea stone equipment. Boa Hancock, in particular, has a treaty that acts as a restraining order for all ships that come near Amazon Lily, now rendered moot because the warlords are no more. Jinbei and his entire crew were given a pardon for their captain Fisher Tiger's attack against the world nobles, and their status as slaves nullified. Don Quixote do Flamingo also managed to operate the human auctioning house, with the government fully ignoring it before passing it to Disco. Buggy also utilizes the perks of his position to run Buggy's Delivery, an organization that rents mercenaries. And Crocodile abused the privilege of being no longer monitored so closely to build himself a large and powerful covert organization, while Boa Hancock, Blackbeard, and Trafalgar Law exploited the benefits of their statuses granted them in order to enter facilities that would otherwise have been unreachable to a pirate. Blackbeard and Boa Hancock gaining access to Impel Down, and Trafalgar Law gaining access to Punk Hazard. The privileges of protection and pardon extends to any of the warlord's subordinates, such as Jinbei was able to have Arlong released from Impel Down and the rest of the Sun Pirates to return to Fishman Island freely, while Caesar Clown, guilty of destroying Punk Hazard via illegal chemical experiments, was given a pardon simply for working under directly Doflamingo. Prior to joining the Straw Hat Pirates, Nico Robin sought to be Crocodile's partner mainly for protection. Admiral Fujitora notes that if Law said the Straw Hat Pirates were his subordinates instead of allies, the notorious crew would have been amnestied. However, due to having the benefits of being a warlord, as well as the government choosing to ignore their actions, many members tend to abuse their privileges for their own personal gain. Crocodile, Moria, and Blackbeard used their privileges solely to increase their own respective crews, knowing the government would overlook such actions. Hancock used her status to assist Luffy in infiltrating Impel Down, unbeknownst to the government, to rescue his brother Ace, making her indirectly responsible for the mass breakout of prisoners prior to the war. Kuma used his status to help the Straw Hat Pirates escape twice, despite being ordered by the government to eliminate them. And Doflamingo also uses privileges to profit off of selling weapons to other countries and promoting war throughout the world while using his title to rule Dressrosa despite being a pirate. Buggy uses his benefits to profit off of Doflamingo's downfall and provide weapons and plunder under his name. Weevil hunts the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates while causing a large degree of destruction and death in his hunt, leaving the Marines unable to act, and Teach himself acknowledged that was the only reason he wanted the title of Warlord in the first place, knowing he could abuse the system so easily. Whew. I need to get me some water. I feel the back of my throat getting a little bit tense. Hold tight, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get myself some water real quick. Okay. Got me some water, so we're good to go. Back to what I was going on about. Though a majority of the Shichibukai, the warlords, abuse the system for their own personal gain, there have been a few that joined for more benevolent reasons. What about the one puppet master character from Naruto whose name I'm currently forgotten? Sasori or Kankuro? Sasori of the Red Sand. I think you mean Sasori because he has a much higher degree of puppetry skills than Kankuro. He did have that jutsu that allowed him to take over and destroy an entire country. That ridiculously powerful puppet jutsu. Hancock joined solely to protect her people on her home island. Jinbei used his title to promote peace between fishmen and humans, as well as protecting the Sun Pirates from being hunted by the Marines due to a majority of them being former slaves. Kuma used his status to help save the Straw Hats at least on 2 separate occasions, as well as acting as a double agent for the Revolutionary Army. And Law joined as part of a plan to take down Doflamingo and avenging the death of his benefactor Don Quixote Rocinante. Then we have dismissal or resignation. Even if they violate the law, the world government and Marines may choose not to take any notice, giving you like free reign to do what you want. It's only if the world government chooses, like, well, that's okay. Doflamingo used to own the human auctioning house before giving it to Disco. Crocodile seemed to have gone unsupervised for an extremely long period of time, as he had created a large, malevolent organization that the world government was completely unaware of, while Moria was abducting civilians and Marines alike to create an army of zombies without the government raising any complaints. Because of the risk involved with maintaining the 3 great powers, the government tolerates the illegal actions of any warlord and attempts to protect them, if possible, or at least maintain their fame. That is not to say that they would not dismiss a warlord for such actions. There are several warlords who have been dismissed from their positions for several reasons. Crocodile's actions in Alabasta left the world government with few options other than his dismissal, although in fact Luffy dealt with him and his bounty was raised for that. Moria's defeat was met with horror by the world government, as they had only just replaced Crocodile's loss. Fearing what would happen if another fell, the world government attempted to cover up his defeat by killing all of the survivors of Thriller Bark before word got out. Seriously, the world government would rather cover up their failures than acknowledge that they were wrong, which is why the Marines themselves, in a moral standpoint, is kind of losing eyes in the face of the people, because under the tutelage and under the rule of Akainu, as fleet admiral, they become a lot more ruthless, caring less about human casualties and more about killing pirates. Would it be a great surprise to anyone if Moria somehow appeared in Wano? It would be a great surprise to me, because it makes me wonder just how close is Beehive Island, where Blackbeard is right now, to Wano for Moria to just simply make his way over there. But then again, this is Oda we're talking about, and he's a master of surprising people and just dropping things unannounced, and we have absolutely no idea how. So, all in all, it might not surprise me, to be honest. Moria needs to be there. So what? Kaido can finish the job? He's the only one. Moria is the only one left of his old crew that's still alive. If Kaido kills him, then Kaido just takes out everybody. Let me see. Even though Kuma, the one sent to deal with the problem, chose to disregard the order of the 5 elders, Moria was able to retain his status for a time, later answering the call to arms against the Whitebeard pirates. However, after the war, the government finally deemed Moria to be too weak to continue as a warlord and decided to annul his pact and eliminate him. Under the pretense of Moria dying in the war to preserve the warlord's reputation of strength. So they're all doing it. The world government is all in it for appearances, to make sure that the world sees that the world government is in control and they got everything under control and everything is fine. Don't worry, the warlords are here. Until recently. Then you know that all it takes is just one foul moment to slip things up, and now they won't be able to hide anything anymore. Jinbei forfeited his position as a warlord for his refusal to assist in the war against the Whitebeard pirates and was incarcerated in level 6 of Impel Down. After Monkey D. Luffy helped him escape, he assisted the young pirate in breaking free from Impel Down and traveling to Marineford and cooperated with the Whitebeard pirates during the battle, choosing to abdicate his position permanently and again becoming a willing enemy of both the Marines and the world government itself. Moria and team up with others. Moria was still plotting revenge against Kaido for years pre-time skip. I wonder if he still does. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he has less allies now because some of his former Thriller Bark crewmates have. Well, the only one we've seen so far was Absalom. Absalom is gone. He's dead. His power has been taken. So he's got even less people now. Blackbeard only wanted to be a warlord so as to be able to reach Impel Down in order to release several level 6 prisoners and create a stronger crew. As soon as he achieved this goal, he was no longer interested and resigned from his warlord title. Dismissal from the warlords holds not only the individual's loss of title, but in cases also the breakdown of possible politics affiliated to that warlord. As Boa Hancock was warned, while she obeyed the world government, her nation's treaty with the world government would be respected. However, if she did not heed the call of the world government, then the treaty with her home island of Amazon Lily would be made void. Smoker has implied that Hancock and her people will suffer repercussions for helping Luffy during the war. However, throughout the war, events related to her were often interpreted incorrectly by the Marines and others, thus her status as a warlord seemed to not have been brought into question. Doflamingo has participated in several illegal activities such as the human auctioning house for the slave trade, but having disowned it does not seem to affect him. He also stated he would quit the warlord should they bore him with menial assignments. He also placed a deep cover agent in the Marines, Verugo, and has the rogue Marine scientist Caesar Clown to produce weapons for him in the underworld, in the New World. These crimes could easily revoke his status, but he has managed to keep this from being discovered. However, after Law blackmailed Doflamingo into forcing him to renounce his title to retrieve Caesar lest he face Kaido's wrath, Doflamingo was left with no choice but to resign his warlord status. This provoked international uproar, though it was later revealed to be a deception. By designating Caesar as his subordinate instead of associate, Doflamingo was able to maintain his position while releasing Caesar from his status as a wanted criminal. Doflamingo's ability to make the world falsely believe that he resigned is a privilege beyond any warlord, and Law suggested it was something that only a world noble could accomplish. However, Doflamingo's status was eventually revoked when he was taken into custody of the Marines after he tried to destroy the entire kingdom of Dressrosa to conceal his vast crimes and his subsequent defeat by Luffy. In a way, Doflamingo was parallel to Crocodile's downfall from the warlord 2 years ago. When Law's alliance with the Straw Hat Pirates was in the news, his seat as a warlord fell into jeopardy. Eventually, Fujitora revoked his status as a warlord. As a result, his bounty was reinstated and raised to 500 million. Due to the vote of the majority from the Reveries royalty, the warlord system has been completely abolished. The remaining members were immediately dismissed from their connections with the world government, and all associating privileges and authority annulled, making them wanted criminals again. This is the current history of the warlords in One Piece. They're all free reign, and now all of the world government is trying to go after them. I feel like Hawkins, where I'm just I'm just putting cards that I'm saying chance of capture 0%, chance of kill 0%. Chance of Marine casualties, 100%. That's all I'm seeing in the future of the Marines. I feel like everyone in the world government pretty much forgot why they contracted these pirates in the first place. They're that powerful. You literally got walking nuclear deterrents, and you just let them go. And you think you have what it takes to bring them down. Y'all stupid. Y'all done got comfy in that high horse on Marijois, all just sitting up there in them nice satin sheets, sitting up there with your nice silk clothes on, just chilling, looking out at the world. That one dude with the bald head and glasses just like, It's a nice day. We got rid of the warlords. Now the world will be even better. Oh, wait, I feel something wrong. There's more turmoil and more things going wrong in the world ever since the warlords themselves have now left our employ. Wait, didn't we have them in our employ because they were there to deter pirates? Now what's going to deter pirates now that they are no longer one of the three great powers? I don't think we thought this through. Is it too late to rescind this order? People may not like it, but we need to keep the balance in check. I feel we may have messed this up, but tell no one. Blame it on the Straw Hats. I feel that's how the Marines are looking at this right now. They're like, hey, we finally got rid of those dogs. We finally got rid of those pirates. Now let's go arrest them. You're going, hey, soldier, you're going after Mihawk. What? I'm going where? You're going with the fleet that's assigned to take down Dracul's Mihawk and arrest him. I'm sorry, but I got a doctor's note. I can't do any fighting until after Mihawk has been captured, so you're gonna have to excuse me for the day. You, Marine, you're going after Boa Hancock. And where is that exactly? Amazon Lily, the island full of warrior women who can use armament hockey and bows and arrows. Wait, what? I just learned how to use a gun. Why am I going over to Amazon Lily? You're going to take down Buggy. But did you see his crew members? He's got a whole bunch of them, and all of them are from level 6. Don't sass me, Marine. Go after them. But I don't wanna. Seriously, and then you have that one who literally just got promoted. Oh yeah, I just got promoted to rear captain. Now what's my first assignment? You're part of the fleet that's going after Edward Weevil. Edward Weevil? Yes. The one that is calling himself Whitebeard Jr.? Yes. The one that everyone says is as strong as a young Whitebeard in his prime? Yes. The one that kills everyone in his way? Yes. Okay, Admiral, I'm going to need to put in my resignation. It's been good for these 5 minutes I've had this promotion. I don't think I'm going to need this anymore. Need to sleep now. It's 6 in the morning. You're watching my stuff again early in the morning? Get some sleep! Imagine your first mission as a Marine is taking down a warlord. But I'm just a newly appointed ensign. I just got promoted and you want me to go after this mass murdering warlord who's as strong as a young Whitebeard? No, fam. He's just going to do like this and then he's going to fade away. And he's just going to disappear. Can you imagine being the Marines who have never seen battle in their lives and their first assignment is going to be going after warlords who have never been touched at all and have ridiculously powerful abilities? I just imagine the pep talk. Imagine the pep talk one has to have when you say you're going after the world's greatest swordsman, who is able to slice mountain-sized pieces of ice, who is able to literally split the ground with just a mere wave of his sword, one-handed, who can move faster than the eye can see, can send shockwaves from his sword, and can slice ships from any distance. Can you imagine that pep talk? Well, men, the news has been that we have received our new orders. We're going to be arresting all of the warlords. You will be a part of the group that will take down Dracul Mihawk. So how many of you have ever used a sword? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 10 of you. There is 400 in this group. How do 10 of you only have sword experience? We all only took firearm training, sir. That doesn't matter. This man can deflect bullets, so you'll be dead before the sword users get there. Oh, joy! We're gonna be dead before we even set foot on the island. You can just imagine the pep talk. Like, are the Marines that confident in their abilities that they are just going to run up on these ridiculously powerful people and then everything is just going to be fine. Because it's not. I mean, think about it. If Doflamingo still had his position as a warlord and then they got rid of that position, this man has been shown being capable of almost destroying an entire country by himself. Literally throwing up a bird cage that is sharp enough to deflect everything, slice anything, no one can escape, no one can communicate outside. It somehow blocks the signals of Denden Mushi so that no help or backup can be called. And these people think that the people who are still in their employ, the people who are still warlords because they never lost, they think they're going to go after them and take them down. Stupid! All these people are stupid! Exactly what I'm thinking. Like, they're all going to get the Don Krieg treatment. They're all going to get washed. They're all going to get washed away by every powerful person in this crew. And all of their bodies are just going to float right back over to, what was it, G5, G6, G1? Let's hope the Marines world government has great life and health insurance as well as other benefits. Life insurance? Have you seen how many Marines there are? They throw out Marine soldiers like Pez candy. I feel like in order for you to be a Marine, you have to literally sign a form that says, I'm prepared to die the moment I sign my name. Every moment I don't die is just one moment I can look forward to it. That's pretty much how every Marine is. Every single Marine that doesn't have a name and is just known as Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Captain, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Admiral Kizaru, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Marine Soldier, Rear Admiral, still no name, Marine Soldier. That everyone who does not have a name is pretty much just fodder. So unless there are some named people going to these islands, everybody's going to die. That's just my thoughts on it. And it continues on like the strength of them. I might as well read through the strength because the history itself is long and I might not actually go through all of that. Yeah, I might not go through the whole thing. I'll just stop at the strength part and then I'll just talk a little bit about the whole warlords themselves and then I'll be done. How long have I been going on for? An hour and 36 minutes. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but there weren't that many people here to hear it. But thank you, everyone, for taking the time to just watch me. I am so close to that 1,000 mark. I'm literally 9 away, which is ridiculous. I'm in the single digits away from 1,000 now. You guys are amazing for helping this channel get as big as it has been. It is amazing. I am eternally blessed, tell you, that I'm able to do this and you guys like it. This is my God-given talent. I thank him every day that I'm able to do this and entertain you guys. This is what my gifting is. It's what I love to do, and I thank God every day that I can do it and you guys enjoy it. So I'm just eternally grateful for you guys helping me find what I'm good at, because at first I didn't even know that this was something that I could see myself doing or being good at in a long run. So overall, I'm just saying thank you guys. You helped make this channel as big as it is, and I cannot say how much I appreciate every single one of you. Would love to see Don Krieg come back as a cyborg of sorts and fight both Frankie and Luffy. Cyber Don Krieg. But let's go through the strength of the warlords themselves, and then I'll probably call it a finished discussion from here. Strength! The warlords are a group of 7 of the strongest pirates in the world, currently only 5, when formerly 5, and one of the 3 great powers, the others being the Yonko and the Marines. In terms of power, the exact relationship between the warlords, Marine headquarters, and the Yonko is unknown. However, considering that these factions are stated to be in balance and the fact that the loss of Crocodile threatens said balance, the most reasonable conclusion is that each organization is approximately equivalent in strength. At least two of the warlords, Gecko Moria and Draco Mihawk, are said to have been rivals of Yonko members Kaido and Shanks, respectively. Bartholomew Kuma has also allowed himself to become part of the Pacifista Project. The strength of at least one warlord, Boa Hancock, has been acknowledged by former Fleet Admiral Sengoku himself. And if your strength is acknowledged by Sengoku, then you are ridiculously strong. Because out of all the Marines, Sengoku has the foresight to know and understand that a powerful person, just how powerful a person is, and not just see them as like an obstacle. He actually respects power. That's the reason why he allowed Shanks to literally come into Marineford, tell everyone to stop the war, and says, I'll take the responsibility for this, Shanks, just this once. I'll let you have the bodies of both Whitebeard and Ace, and we'll let you leave. Out of respect for you. So if Sengoku says you got power, you got power. This, in addition to the fact that losing a single member of the warlords can disrupt the balance of the world powers and cause distress to the world government, indicates the extreme power each individual has. The strength of a warlord is so great that should they be in prison for any reason, they would be sentenced to level 6 of Impel Down, the lowest and most secure level of the prison, as both Crocodile and Jinbei were in prison there. The only exception to this may be Buggy, who appears to have gained the position through his reputation and influence, being on casual talking terms with Yonko Shanks and commanding a large number of Impel Down escapees, rather than actual fighting strength. Although it remains to be seen if Buggy's fighting abilities have changed at all during the 2-year time skip, because we've never seen him fight since then. We just seen him reveling in his success as a delivery chairman with his delivery service. Because of their pact with the world government, the warlords are considered government dogs by other pirates. At the same time, they are also feared by them because of all the warlords are insanely strong, each capable of destroying an average pirate crew on their own with no effort. As seen with Mihawk and Crocodile, they have such a fierce reputation that even other powerful and famous pirates are unnerved by them. As seen when the captain of the Kid Pirates, Eustace Kidd, actually seemed heavily disturbed when he witnessed the arrival of a pacifista cyborg, mistaking it for the real Kuma. On the Sabaody archipelagos, close to where his crew were, despite the fact that his bounty was higher than Kuma's former bounty, demonstrating how their strength is even greater than that implied by their frozen bounties in the eyes of other people. So do not let the former bounties of these warlords fool you. Their power greatly outclasses their bounty. They can only be given... Their bounties may be high, but it's not a representation of their power. Their power is leagues above what is actually shown to us. Each member has some ability or power, the majority of which are devil fruits, with Jinbei and Mihawk being the only exception so far. Jinbei and Mihawk being the only insanely strong people in the warlords who are strong based on pure strength alone. Jinbei has abnormally large strength due to his physiology and biology as a fishman. Draco Mihawk is just a normal dude, but he's still able to go toe-to-toe with any and everyone. And he's strong, ridiculously strong. I mean, have you seen the size of his sword? Only ridiculously strong people can use that thing one-handed and send shockwaves out that are capable of decapitating entire mountains of ice, and also slice it quick enough to literally chop Buggy into strips in like seconds. These abilities can oftentimes vary depending on the warlord's theme. Some of their abilities appear to conflict with each other. For example, Blackbeard's power involves drawing people to him, while Kuma's involves rejecting people away from him. And Doflamingo's power allows him to control the motions of others to his will, while Hancock immobilizes them by turning them into stone. Also, Buggy has the ability to split apart his own body, while Law can split apart the bodies of other people. In the case of Crocodile and Jinbei, this opposition also extends to the environment where their abilities reach their full zenith, i.e. being a fishman, Jinbei's fighting abilities are at their peak in the deep and open sea, while Crocodile, having consumed the Sunasuna no Mi, favors the desert sand. It should be noted that Mihawk and Jinbei are the only two known warlords to rely on their own abilities, as they are not devil fruit users. So the fact that they don't have devil fruits and they are on the same league as people who have fully mastered devil fruits and are extremely powerful, yeah, it just speaks on the terms of strength. There's been a lot of warlords that have left. Yeah, there were a lot. There were a lot. Wondering what would happen if Mihawk cut an admiral like he did Buggy. Where am I reading from, Crown Clown? I am reading from the wiki. I'm reading the Shichibukai article on the One Piece wiki itself. Because they keep it updated. Whenever there's a new chapter, they always update it so that everyone gets the most current information. Plus, I like going to this wiki when I'm reading up on different devil fruits, because reading the descriptions of different devil fruits and then seeing it in action, you get to, it just, I don't know, for me, it's therapeutic. Like reading the powers of ridiculously powerful people in anime and different manga and Marvel and DC and whatever. I just like reading through people's abilities just to measure their strength against other people in different sorts of media. It's just a hobby of mine. It should be noted that Jinbei and Mihawk are the only two known warlords to rely on their own abilities, as they are not devil fruit users. In relationship to each other, it's not entirely known how they compare in strength. However, during the Battle of Marineford, several members and former members battled each other, and none managed to defeat or significantly injure each other in any fight. Although while most appeared evenly matched, after Moria was defeated by Luffy, he was deemed a liability and it was decided he could no longer continue as a warlord. As a result, Doflamingo was ordered to exterminate Moria along with a group of several pacifista. Should check out the TV Tropes One Piece page too. I'll check it out once I'm done here. And then it goes through the history of when we're first introduced to the first warlord, all their failings, everything that happens after, 2-year time skip. And then during the then we get to the Wano arc. Mihawk was sitting in his castle as Perona learned from a newspaper that Moria was alive. As Perona was leaving, Mihawk mentioned an interesting topic that was brought up at the reverie. During the reverie, due to the actions of Crocodile and Doflamingo having brought tragedy to two government-allied kingdoms, the representatives of world government's member nations voted to officially dissolve the warlord system. The remaining 5 warlords had their statuses revoked, and marine fleets were sent to attack at least 4 of them. The only person that they're not really attacking is Bartholomew Kuma, because he's part of the new world. He's part of the new Celestial Dragon rent, ride, and derive deal they got going on. Rent Kuma, ride Kuma, and derive him of his own dignity. That's pretty much what they're doing. And just as you said, CJ, manga influences for the warlords themselves, they are loosely based on the privateers of the old European naval superpowers. The privateers were approved pirates, considered heroes in their homeland, and pillagers in others. Their main goal was to plunder ships and towns of rivals and enemies of their allied nation. Historically, Sir Francis Drake and Don Miguel Enriquez were among the most successful, with their earnings surpassing the equivalent of $100 million by modern standards, and their political influence reaching the royalty of their time. Kuma's an Uber now. Pretty much. He's one that doesn't say anything. He doesn't worry. He doesn't have music playing. He doesn't try to strike up a conversation. He just gets you where you need to go, and then you tip him by, I guess the Celestial Dragons see a tip for Kuma is sticking him with a sword. And then they have translation and dub issues, and then they got merchandise. And let's see, trivia. While Yosaku was accurate in describing their immense powers and alliance with the world government, the shadowy silhouettes he imagined in his head bore no resemblance to the actual members, aside from Mihawk himself. Their appearance on the cover of Chapter 532 was parodied in episode 240 of Gintama, where 6 of them made a silhouetted cameo with Gintoki replacing Teach eating a cherry pie but holding his wooden sword instead of a gun. The status of a warlord was offered to Porcus the Ace, but he refused the offer. This is the only known time an invitation into the organization has been rejected. In the non-canon anime special 3D2Y, Overcome Ace's Death, Luffy's Vow to his friends, it was said that the warlords were only established within the last 30 years prior to the current timeline. So, the warlords themselves have not been around all that long. They've only been around for like 30 something years. So that means that they were only around for 30 something years, which means that all of these warlords that were former are pretty much the OG ones who started this entire thing. And Dracul Mihawk is 43. If we detract 30 from that, then it makes it sound like he was contracted into the warlords themselves when he was like 13. If we were going to take the assumption that all the warlords who were former and all the former base warlords like Jinbei and everybody else were indicted into the warlord system themselves, then it means that they could have been contracted when they were very young, and for the past 30 years they've been doing that. And they've been warlords ever since. What if warlords were connected to combat a potential Rock's comeback? What if warlords were created to combat a potential Rock's comeback? Maybe there was something going on with pirates in the history 30 years prior, before the warlord system was created, that needed and necessitated the world government's need to create a brand new faction that would keep the pirates in check, but also make it so that the world government was still one of the greater of the three great powers in the world. But they had like pirates under their employ, so they made it so that, yes, we'll have this deterrent just in case a certain pirate group comes back. But if they don't, then we can just use this as a deterrent for any future pirates, as a way of making it as dismissing any pirates who want to become pirates in the future. Let's just keep this system and keep it going for about 30 years or so. In the game One Piece Big Secret Treasure, the Seven Phantom Island, Simon is said to be on the wait list for the warlords. Although several warlords have names based on real pirates, none of them were privateers, the real-life equivalent of the warlords themselves. Both Jinbei and Buggy had their offers to become warlords delivered by Black Bats. Buggy and Teach are the only warlords that do not have an animal theme. Teach was the only warlord that did not have any formal or official bounty when joining the warlords. Doflamingo and Hancock are the only known members who can use Conqueror's Haki. And in One Piece Color Walk 7 Tyrannosaurus, Oda revealed that he originally wanted to have Basil Hawkins join the warlords as well. Then we have SBS-based trivia. In the SBS of Volume 63, Oda drew all the known warlords at the time, including former members as children. Trafalgar was not a Shichibukai then, but he was drawn as a child along with the rest of the 11 supernovas in the next SBS, and his past was revealed. Buggy and Weevil are the only confirmed warlords to have yet to be drawn as children, so we have no idea what Buggy looked like when he was younger. More than likely, he still had the red nose because that's actually his nose. In the SBS of Volume 76, Oda drew all the known Shichibukai at the time as their opposite gender. Trafalgar was also already drawn as a female along with the rest of the 11 supernovas in the SBS of Volume 72. Buggy and Weevil are the only known warlords that are yet to be drawn in the opposite gender. So this pretty much, save for like the very extensive history of the warlords from their first appearance down to their most recent appearance, down to their complete dissolution of the entire system. But yeah, this is the warlords, the Shichibukai. Thought Weevil was going after Marco. He's been slacking. Well, with the place where, when it said where Edward Weevil was when he was being held up by Marines, it says he was on a certain island, and I feel that island is the same one that Marco was on when he was talking to Nekomamushi, and the history of Blackbeard and how the island that Marco has been on this entire time was Whitebeard's hometown. So here's the thing: is we don't know if Marco's still there. So maybe Weevil tracked him down there in the hopes of finding Marco, but we don't know if Marco is still there. But what we do know is that the Marines know where that island is, and they've already surrounded Weevil. So I don't think he's been slacking. I think he's been making his way trying to find this island to find Marco, because Marco's been there the whole time. But it remains to be seen if there's going to be anything left of this island after Weevil is done, because Whenever Weevil's around and he starts attacking, people die. And this is Whitebeard's hometown that he's at right now. I'm absolutely sure this is Whitebeard's hometown because the whole landscape that they show, it just makes it look like it is. But I really hope that if he does start fighting, he keeps away from the civilians. Yet I assume the Marine had tabs on all locations at all times, like it was a part of the agreement or something. Well, here's the thing. My thing is, you would either have to put a tracer on them to find out where they are at all times, because if they knew where each warlord was at any given time. No, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Before this chapter, Weevil questioned his mother should they go after Luffy to get information on Marco. And the thing is, since Weevil sees himself as a self-proclaimed son of Whitebeard, he holds some animosities towards Blackbeard, and he wants to kill Blackbeard. Once Weevil gets done mopping the floor with the Marines, because he's basically going to kill them all. We already know he's going to kill them all. He doesn't even, as far as we know, he doesn't even have a devil fruit, and he's as strong as Whitebeard in his prime. So yeah, those Marines are not walking away from that, and I feel like if he's not able to find Marco, then he'll try and find the treasure. He might destroy the town where Whitebeard came from in hopes of finding that treasure. And if he doesn't, then he'll try to make his way towards Wano to see if he can find Luffy and find information on Marco if Marco is not there. And if he can't find Marco, then he might go after Blackbeard. I feel like those, not specifically in that order, but I feel like those are on his top 3 things to do. But yeah, this is the history of the now former Shichibukai. So it just makes me wonder what's going to happen now. So let me just go ahead and put my theories out there, and then I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And so I can just chill for the rest of the day. It's already like going on 5 o'clock. It's like 4:52 right now, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the Marines that are going after Mihawk, they're going to die. Weevil, the Marines that are going after him, they're going to die. The ones that are going after Buggy, I feel like they're going to have a significant fight on their hands with all the Impel Down prisoners that have allied themselves with Buggy, plus other pirates who allied themselves with Buggy as well. And Buggy is going to try and make his escape. I don't know if he's going to run into somebody in particular there or if he's going to make a clean getaway. And then we have Boa Hancock. I feel like a conversation between her and Kobe is going to happen, and they're going to realize that they have a lot more in common with Luffy. And I honestly feel like Boa Hancock is not going to get arrested at all. Because people who have ties to Luffy tends to get covered in plot armor in a certain degree. Not complete plot armor, because, well, if that was the case, then we'd still have Ace. But I feel like people who ally themselves with Luffy completely tend to have very thick plot armor that keeps them from receiving any very, 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 very severe punishments on them physically or world government wise. You are king. Who? Me? I'm no king. That's why you find it convenient Kobe is assigned to go after Boa Hancock. Kobe has some very convenient placement. If it's not him saving Viola and Rebecca from the pirates that were trying to ransack their ships on the way to the Reverie, then it's him meeting up with Vivi and Shirahoshi, all of them who have met Luffy and all of them fangirling over Luffy. Then I feel like Kobe is being put in positions that allows him to speak to people who have a good view of Luffy, who have a very genuine good feeling of Luffy. He's being put in that position to be surrounded by all these people at this time. And I wonder if with all this going on, I wonder if it's going to put in Kobe's head that, well, I know Luffy's a pirate, but he's not doing anything to hurt anybody. Maybe I shouldn't go as hard on going after him, or at least do things in a way where it doesn't overly affect what he's trying to do. I don't know. I might be overstepping myself a little bit here, but Kobe has been finding himself in the perfect position to meet up with people that already know Luffy and have good things to say about him. I hope they send some of those new technology Vegapunk made to capture the Shichibukai, or else they are just playing games. Yeah, unless an admiral's there or the thing that Vegapunk's been making is there to help to bring these warlords in, none of them are being taken in. None of them are being taken in. Which makes me wonder, when are we going to see Vegapunk? Like, the kids have got to be over at his lab already. He's got to be working on a way to reverse their gigantification from Caesar Clown. There's got to be some progress with that. Like, Tashigi and Smoker were on their way to see him. And, like, when are we going to see the old dude? When are we going to see the guy who is able to create cyborgs in a world where the main method of transportation is ships? Like, I love the fact that One Piece is a mix of old-timey, like, 19th and 18th century, and yet they have things like television, they have rock concerts and guitars and modern vehicles, they got floating bubble motorcycles, they got security cameras, they got all sorts of things. They got cyborgs, they got robots, they got laser cannons. It's just like, there's a theory that the prior fleet admiral is the leader of Sword. Oh, so you mean Sengoku is like the leader of Sword? Is that the unit that Rocinante was in, maybe? Ooh! Hold on. Let me look it up. Let me look up Rocinante. What was the group that he was a part of? Because if it doesn't say, that, I'm calling it here that maybe Rocinante himself was a part of Sword, and he was yet another agent that was working for the government to infiltrate a pirate group, just the same way that D.S. Drake has been doing. Pirate elite officer undercover. Okay, so it doesn't say what his position is. Hold on, let me find out. Because I feel like Rocinante may have been part of Sword as well. Because I feel like Sword is like one piece of... what if Vegapunk figured out how to make fake ancient weapons? Well, the dude is smart enough to know how to put devil fruits into inanimate objects. So I wouldn't put it past him to figure that sort of thing out. As a Marine commander, he had command over all... He had command over all low ranking, or is intelligent. Where does it say? It does not say if he was a part of Sword or not, but I feel like Rocinante was. I feel like Marines who go undercover as pirates to get info on pirates are all a part of Sword. Now, because after seeing D.S. Drake, it just makes me think that everyone we've seen working with the Marines, not as a mole for pirates, but as a mole for the Marines themselves, are all a part of Sword. Oda sure does love silhouettes and cliffhangers. Joy Boy, Vegapunk, Green Bull, Im-sama, Odin. He really does. All these people we've been seeing so much, and we've seen so many recent panels of them, but they're still in shadow. Oda likes to tease. That's what it is. Oda likes to tease us. Like Kuzan, he definitely a Sword member. It makes... Here's the thing, because when... That's what I'm thinking as well, because he's keeping tabs on Blackbeard and everyone, and he still reports to the world government, but he's like a free agent that allows him to, maintain his cover while he's out there. I literally just had an equivalent pop into my head, but it just left me. It left me. So we got Kuzan, who's a potential Sword member. We got Kobe, who's a Sword member. We got D.S. Drake, who's a Sword member. And we got Rocinante, who I am pretty sure was a Sword member. So, and then we have the theory that maybe Akainu was formerly part of Sword as well, because he has like a sword tattoo on his shoulder, and some people were trying to link him to that, but I don't know. I don't know if he was actually part of that. I feel like Akainu he's not the type to just simply go undercover and sneak things in. I mean, sure, he'll play ends against the middle, such as like he did with Squard. to go up against Whitebeard. Sword could be the direct opposite of shield. Possibly. That's what I think. They're pretty much the equivalent of sword is the equivalent of sword is to One Piece what shield is to Marvel. That's what I think. They do the things that nobody else wants to do, go undercover, stay deep undercover to find out dirt and secret information and stuff. Remember when the Gorosei asked Akainu what he was going to do about Kuzan joining Blackbeard and he just dodged the question? Yep, that's another reason to think that Kuzan is a part of Sword as well. Because Akainu knows. I feel like Kuzan resigning, like sure it was a major blow to the Marines, but to their knowledge, he resigned. While he may just still be part of the Marines, but as a double agent. Because even then, when Doflamingo went up against Kuzan, he was wondering, you're no longer an admiral, so what are you now? And Kuzan doesn't answer him. So that's just even more evidence to Kuzan being another Sword member. So we already got these theories just popping out of our heads, people. Just so much. But I'm going to draw to a close right there. Overall, I feel like this was a very successful stream for today. Going on for 2 hours. Not bad. So overall, this has been pretty much the synopsis and relative history of the Warlords themselves and how they pretty much all their members came to power and how strong they are in comparison to other people, and the fact that now that the group has been pretty much abolished now, they're now free-range pirates, which means that they're no longer held down by any means. But they also don't have the protection of the world government. Not to say that they needed it, but they don't have all the privileges that went with being a part of the world government itself. So overall, I can't wait to see what Oda has to say and show to how the warlords themselves, well, former warlords, how the former warlord pirates are going to behave now that they're no longer linked to the world government in any way. They pretty much can do whatever they want now. They're free. It may look bad to some people, but they no longer have to worry about answering to the world government anymore. They no longer have to be under their employ, and they're free to do whatever they want. So if certain people want to join up with Luffy, because he's her beloved, she now has the opportunity to. Just throwing that out there. But with that being said, that's all I got to say for today. I enjoyed this. I really did. Thank you everyone for continuing to support this channel. It really means a lot to me. And I honestly, over the course of these years that I've been doing YouTube, I never thought that I would actually get this far. But I'm thankful. And this is what I love to do. I never get tired of this. This is not a job for me. This is what I love to do. I always have energy to do this. And I love it. But with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. So with that being said, have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples! Hungry, need to eat some chocolate chip cookies.